Hello everyone, this is Diana Kim, Criminal Justice Librarian. I would like to welcome you to this series on developing a search strategy that you will have access to throughout the semester. To make the content a little easier to consume, I have split this series into 5 parts. Part 1 will cover how to choose keywords when you're searching for materials in a database. In Part 2, we'll talk about how to expand those keywords by using synonymous terms. Part 3 will discuss how we connect our keywords using connectors to enter those into the database. Part 4 will discuss how to choose databases. And Part 5 will talk about applying limiters to your search results. So let's begin. Choosing keywords. What is your goal? At the end of this video, you will know how to begin developing a search strategy, and you will know how to select initial keywords. So what is a search strategy exactly? A search strategy is a structured plan of selecting search terms and entering them correctly into a database. You might be wondering, why is this important? Well, because using search terms strategically will produce better, more relevant results, which saves you time. Essentially what happens is if you don't choose correct keywords or you don't know how to properly enter them into the database, you will get pages and pages of articles or books, whatever resources you're looking for, that are irrelevant or not really related to what you're trying to find. But if you use the proper words for your searching, and you also know how to properly put those into the database, the results that you do find will be very pertinent to your searching, what you're looking for. And therefore, you'll save lots of time in going through page after page of articles that you don't need. There are essentially 5 steps to building a keyword search strategy. These are defining your topic, identifying keywords, expanding keywords using synonyms, connecting keywords with connectors, and choosing databases. So in step 1, we define your topic. And what I always tell students is to write a topic in narrative form. I think where a lot of students get off base is they choose topics that are overly broad. For example, global warming. While technically that's a subject, it's really not a research question. So I always tell folks to try to think about writing your topic in the form of a question, because this does a couple of things. One, it will narrow your topic so that it's not overly broad, but it'll also provide you with certain keywords that you can then use in the database. Another bonus to this as well is that when you write your topic in the form of a question, you can continually write back to that question as if you're answering it throughout your paper. So you'll remain on course and make sure that what you're covering in your paper is always relevant to that original research topic. So it would look something like this. What does research tell us about the efficacy of court-ordered substance abuse treatment? If I write my topic in this form, I have a question that I'm continually answering while I write my paper. But in addition to that, I will show you that our keywords will come right out of that sentence. To identify keywords, we're going to view that narrative that we just talked about, and then we're going to underline primary concepts. These will become your initial keywords, those words that describe your topic. So in this particular example, what does the research tell us? So none of those words really are the substance of the question. We're just basically saying, what are there articles out there about? So we can kind of disregard those words. But then the second piece of it is, what research are we looking for? We're looking for research that talks about efficacy, about substance abuse treatment specifically, and those types of substance abuse treatments that are court ordered. So just by doing that, we have 4 unique search terms or keywords that we can put in our database. These are efficacy, court ordered, substance abuse, and treatment. So let's review. What have we learned in this video? How to write a research question, and how to select keywords from that research question. Let's do a quick knowledge check before we go. What are keywords? Keywords are key terms that best describe our research topic or question. They are important because we will use those key terms in the database to find sources such as articles, books, media, etc. for our research projects. And that's all we have for part 1. If you have any questions about the content of this video or any other questions you'd like to ask me, please feel free to reach out. You can do that by giving me a call, send me an email, contact me through Blackboard. We can communicate in a number of different ways, including Zoom messaging if you would like to do that. So if you want to meet with me virtually, we can do that as well. So stay tuned for part 2 when we talk about expanding keywords using synonyms.